So, welcome to another video, the One Good Road here. Today, I am showing you Sardinia's coastline here. Isn't it stunning? But this is going to be an update video. So, the last update video I made was in Perth, Western Australia. And I want to update the channel. I want to update people for, because I've had a few comments about where I'm at the moment. So I wanted to address some of those questions. So I'm going to start off with the timeline. So basically, I'm going to start off from Perth, which I was there about 2 or 3 months ago, and then bring it up to today, how I am here, standing in Italy. Let's begin in Perth. So I was there for about 5 months. I lived and worked there. I worked in some bike shops there in Perth. And it was great. I learned a lot from being there and living there. I rented 2 different places. I met a lot of really interesting people, made friends, great friends, and it was interesting. But I did pick up a hernia while I was there. So a hernia is where your intestines poke through your abdominal wall. And I had to get surgery for that. So I went to the hospital, had the operation done. I had to recover from that, so I wasn't able to ride the bike that often because I was recovering. And after that, I then decided, okay, I'm going to sell everything I've got and head off to Japan. That was my plan. But I wanted to do a stopover in Bali because everyone in Perth kept telling me, you got to go to Bali. It's really nice there and it's along the way. So I was like, well, it's pretty cheap there to live there and the ticket's cheap. So I thought, okay, I'll go to Bali. So I went to Bali. I was there for about a month in Indonesia, in Bali. And I met so many amazing people, made some really great friends. The people there are so kind and open and really fun. Bit nuts, but awesome. And I lived there for a month, like I said, and after a month being there, what did I do? There was Silent Day. So Silent Day in Bali is once a year, and it's where the whole island basically shuts down for like 24 hours. You can't leave the house, you can't go out to buy groceries, stuff like that. So I stayed in a villa with a friend, with some couch surfers. And not some, I stayed with 14 strangers. I didn't know any of them, well, apart from one guy. So 13 strangers in a villa, this guy's villa, really nice guy. And we managed to make it work. We had a great time. It was really fun. I was very surprised. It was totally out of my comfort zone. It was fun. But before all that happened, so that's kind of like the fun stuff. I mean, Bali was great. There was lots of tropical foliage, which is so different to where I was in Western Australia. But I needed to get circumcised. So I kind of made a post about this on my Instagram. I don't want to get into details about it. I'll explain the details about all of the timeline that I'm talking about after I finished with the timeline. So basically, I had that done, and for about a week, I basically couldn't do anything again. I had to wait. I couldn't even sit in a car. It was very uncomfortable. You know, it's kind of strange to get it done at 20 years old. And after that, I was planning to go to Japan originally, so I booked the flights. I was ready to go. I was ready to do a bicycle tour there, and the universe had other plans. So instead, I only went there for a few days. So I stayed with a couch surfer in Fukuoka, Japan, which is in the south part of Japan. By the way, check out this coastline. Isn't it amazing? It's absolutely breathtaking here. Anyway, slightly sidetracked. Japan. So I stayed with a couch surfer. I went to go and visit a couple shrines in Japan, which were amazing. They're so stunning. It's totally different from Western culture. I was blown away. I love Japan. It's beautiful. But I felt like I'm running out of money. My health issues I'm still recovering from what was going on. So I thought I'm going to fly back home, back to Europe. because I couldn't even sit in a saddle, like a bicycle saddle, after the procedure. I still, you know, it took me 25 days before I could sit back on a bicycle again. So that was interesting. And then, sorry if I'm going all the time, I'm just like, you know, brain's calculating what to say, like that. So after Japan, I flew back to Europe, and I was there for, well, I've been here for about a month now. So I flew back to London and then back down to France, and I had a layover in Taiwan for a day. That was really interesting because I met another couch surfer. Sorry about the wind. I met another couch surfer who was from Hong Kong, and I wrote him a request like a year ago, and he said that he was in. I saw that he was in Taipei. He just landed, and I was like, I can't get out of the airport due to money issues. I couldn't transfer money. It was a problem I had, and he bought me a train ticket, and we took the train into Taipei. So that was really kind of him. I wouldn't have been able to see Taipei without him, which is pretty cool. Nice guy, called Derek. Thanks for that, if you ever see this. And that was really cool. So the other layover I had was in Malaysia as well. So that was a very quick one. That was even shorter than Taiwan. So I didn't really see much, but the Thailand layover was even less than that, excuse me. I'd love to go back to Asia, but like I was running out of money. So I came back to France, and I was there for 2 weeks, I think. And I was working on some stuff because my folks live down in south of France. So I was visiting them again. It was really weird to see my parents again. So after 10 months, I hadn't seen them. So it was really amazing to see them again. That was that was the longest time I haven't seen them in a while. And then after that, of staying there with them, I then was recording an update video like this. And out of the blue, an old friend of mine from 5 years ago, I hadn't seen him for 5 years, his name's Ralph, and he called me up out of the blue and said, hey, I'm gonna be doing a video project for my new business endeavors, and do you wanna help? And I was like, well, let me look at my calendar. I'm not really doing anything, so yeah. So here we are. This is why I'm at this beautiful place, Sardinia, which is the island of Sardinia, which is part of Italy. And we are filming for his project, which is really lovely. It's a really cool thing to be helping with. I don't want to give anything away, but you can check out the Instagram posts that I make, because I sort of give things away on there, and you can check that out. And we're doing that. So I'm learning a lot with the gimbal, and we're using these cameras. So right now I'm using a Sony RX100 Mark VI, and it's a lot better than my Lumix camera, which is the other one I have. So I'm just experimenting with using this one and seeing what the quality difference is. And I mean, I think it's pretty good. It can do 4K for a much longer amount of time, and the megabyte speed is better, so there's less bitrate problems, slower frame rates. I won't get into the boring stuff, but I'm basically working with cameras again, which is really interesting. So it's kind of sparked my hobby again from that, and maybe possibly working out of that. So that's what I'm experimenting with here, is how can I make money and do the things that I love, which is like, you know, the bicycle touring and the cycling and traveling, I guess, traveling as well. Because it all costs money. Then that's, you know, kind of one of the fundamentals. And I didn't like the work some of the work I really enjoyed doing, like working in the bike shops in Perth. But other stuff in Perth, I didn't want to work in a bar and stuff like that. It's not really my thing. So I'm still experimenting with that. I'm only 20. So that's kind of why you haven't seen much posts at the moment, because I've been working that out, basically, trying to make myself financially stable. So yeah, I'm still working that out. So we'll see. We'll kind of see what's going to happen. I might be working on some ideas in my head. Maybe some video courses, helping you guys out again. and posting more about that. I'll share that later on. Let me know what you think of the quality of this camera. I think it's gorgeous, this Sony. I've worked with Sonys before, and they've gotten way better in the last 2 years since I've used them. And the traveling was amazing. If you can't tell already, I've kind of diverged from the timeline thing, and now I'm getting into the deep stuff. So yeah, I'm learning a lot. In the last 2 or 3 months, I've been like from Australia to Indonesia to Malaysia to Japan to Taiwan to London to France to Holland again, and then Italy. I've been all over right now. It's kind of nuts. I didn't even realize that. I'm very grateful for all these experiences, and it may seem that I'm like just traveling and having fun, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. That's what I post on my Instagram about, and Facebook as well. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't really want to get into too much detail about the procedure that I had done in Indonesia, but if you look up the word phimosis, that's basically what I was dealing with. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And it's better, and that's all I want to say about that. But it did impact the riding and the capability. So that's, you know, in France I did hop back on the bike. I tried a 60k ride, and I felt a lot better. So that was really nice. And I love being back in France again, and in Europe. I mean, look at this. It's just like, I was in New Zealand as well, did a bicycle tour there and lived there for a while. And it looks very similar. Like, I don't know why I flew to the other side of the world when Italy has all this beautiful stuff on this island here. So who knows, you might see me doing a bicycle tour here in the future and making a documentary about it or something, I don't know. But that's definitely what I want to make more of on this channel, is documentaries about the touring, and try and bump up the quality with stuff like this. But we'll see. I need sponsorship, really, to speed things up, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that update. I will leave links up here for my Cycling Australia series in case you didn't catch that. And I'll try and remember to leave an update video below for the Perth update video when I was there as well. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this update. Let me know if you have any questions, like I said. Leave a like for the view behind me. I mean, it's so beautiful here in the Mediterranean, isn't it? I love it here. I totally wish I could live here. We got to go back to Holland and have a look at all this footage that we've shot here. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.